Social media marketing this, social media marketing that. It seems like all anyone is talking about when it comes to marketing is social media. But how exactly does social media marketing actually help a business grow? Here's the thing. Raise your hand if you don't love social media. Here's both my hands. I have a love-hate relationship with social media. I know some of you love it, like your personality type. Maybe you're super extroverted. You love being on social media. You love being visible. It's super easy for you, and I'm happy for you. I think that's phenomenal, and I admire everything that you do on social media. But for the rest of us, and it's probably a good percentage of people who don't love social media, I feel you. I feel your pain. The whole thing about social media is that for a lot of us, it doesn't feel very natural. And we're often raised, especially women, as young girls, we're raised not to talk about ourselves, right? Don't ever brag, don't ever say anything, like don't say how great you are. And so we take that into the adult world, and then all of a sudden you have a business and you're supposed to be on social media talking about all the things, or, sharing with everyone every bit about your life. And if you tend to be more private, that's a hard thing to do. So I get it. And I struggled with this for a long time until one of my friends, a good friend of mine, Tina, who also really supported me with social media when she had a social media company. She said to me, Ursula, think of social media as just being at a party or at a networking event. And you're there just having a conversation. You're there creating a personal relationship. It's just another way to connect. And I loved when she said that, because for me, relationships really matter. I value relationships. I value connection. And I realized it's one of the reasons that I don't love social media, because I don't feel like I'm connecting when you throw up a picture. It's like, who cares, right? I don't really care, or I don't think other people are going to care. But the truth is, it's a way for people to get to know you. It's a way for people to know if they like you, if they know you, and they trust you. And those three things are going to help them decide whether or not they're going to buy from you. And so once I started to get past that and started to think of it as, okay, it's not about me. This is an opportunity for people to connect with me so I can help them. Then social media got easier. And now when I put social media content out, even if I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm standing on the top of a mountain screaming, or I'm saying, look at me, I remind myself, it's not about me. It's about the people that are meant to hear my message. Let it go. And hopefully, if you feel the same way I do, hopefully that helps you sort of just kind of let go of the pressure of feeling so vulnerable when you're posting on social media. The other thing that has really helped me, and that my friend Tina shared with me, is that we're not just going to one party together, right? We're not just going to one networking meeting together. This is an ongoing conversation. This is a party that never ends, right? Social media is the party that never ends. Social media is a networking event that never ends. And it's an opportunity for us to continue to hang out. It's an opportunity for me to get to know you more, and an opportunity for you to get to know me more. And when I think about that, I think about it that way. It helps me really hone in on the content that we share. What would we be talking about at a networking event, or a speaking engagement, or at a party? What would we be sharing? What would people be asking me about what I do, right? And so think about this as this it's an ongoing party. It's just an ongoing networking event and an opportunity for you to get to know people. Sometimes I go a little dormant on social media. Not perfect. I mean, when it comes to my business, my team makes sure that things go out consistently. On some of my personal pages, though, I sometimes forget. I'm not one of those people who's sitting on the couch at night, like scrolling through Facebook or Instagram. It's just not me. And so then when I forget about it, I forget to post. And then when I forget to post, people start to forget about you. So social media is a great way to stay out there and be relevant, so that people know that you're still in business, so that people know what you're still up to, that people, know that your business is still out there and it's still growing. One of the things it can really do, especially if you're not super extroverted, is it can be a great way to showcase who you are and your authenticity. I'm a mom. I talk about that a lot on Facebook. I don't share things about my child that I think are private though, but I'll post a few pictures, or I'll talk about parenting, or I'll talk about where I like to go on vacation, or I'll talk about some of the things that I love to do. So the goal though is, I won't post something if it doesn't feel authentic. If it's not something I'd share with you at a party, if we're having a conversation in the corner, I'm probably not going to put it on Facebook or Instagram, or I'm not going to tweet about it. So be thinking about that. How can I show up authentically on social media? What do I need to do? What do I need to say? How do I want to be? How do I want others to perceive me? And yet it's still only a glimpse of you, right? It's not your whole being. I mean, I've seen people on social media and then you meet them in person, you're like, well, it's just a big disconnect. You don't want that to happen. You want to have enough of you out there so that people can connect. And fifth, whether we like it or not, social media is not going away. And so I want to encourage you to keep doing it. Stay out there. Like if you're on LinkedIn, stay visible on LinkedIn. If you're on Facebook, stay visible. If you're on Instagram, whatever you're on, stay visible and keep doing it. And if you struggle to keep doing it, find a company or a contractor or an assistant who can do the posts for you. A lot of times that's really helpful for my clients who are really, when my clients have a lot of resistance to doing social media or putting the posts up themselves, I tell them, I'm like, go find someone to help you with this. Just take the pressure off you so that you'll at least have a consistent message out there. Now, it's important to remember that social media isn't the end all be all of marketing. Maybe it is for a small percentage of people. Like you'll hear someone's killing it on Instagram, and they are, right? Like that's their thing. They've nailed it, and right now it's working really well for them. Will it forever? I don't know, but it is right now. And that's great. For most of us though, social media is just a part of our overall marketing conversation. It's just a part of the conversation, right? And someone might, see you on social media, or maybe someone shares one of your posts and they learn about you, and then they go to your website and maybe they download a free something that's on your site. They like the free something, and then maybe they come back around, buy a product or service, or book a call with you, right? Like it was just one part of the picture. It wasn't the whole picture. Now, for some of you who are super, super resistant to social media, here's what I would say to you. Don't do it. Like if you really hate social media, if you feel like it violates your values or your business values, don't do it, because it's not worth it. It's just not. Now this is going to blow your minds. For some of you, especially if you're a lot younger, this is really going to blow your mind. There was a time when there was no social media. There was a time when there was no email even. There was a time when there wasn't a phone. And guess what? People still did business and they were successful. I know people who still don't have websites and they're very proud of it. They'll tell me, they're like, my company doesn't have a website and we're still killing it. I don't know, they're maybe in the yellow pages. I'm not even sure how people find them, but they find them. And so if social media is not your jam, I'm going to go up against all the advice that everyone's ever told you and give you permission to stop doing it. Instead, figure out how you do want to market in a way that feels most aligned with your values. Today, we talked about social media marketing. And just because everyone else is talking about it and doing it, do you need to do it like everybody else? And the answer is absolutely not. You do want to think of social media as an ongoing party or an ongoing networking event where you just get to continue the conversation, but it's not the end all be all. It's important to remember that social media is part of the overall marketing picture. It's just part of it, because the question is, once someone sees you on social media, where are they supposed to go? Are they supposed to go to your website? Are they supposed to download something? Should they listen to your podcast? Like, where are you sending them, right? It's just a part of the picture. And finally, for those of you who are super resistant to social media, or it violates your values, or you just hate it, don't do it. There was a time when there was no social media. People grew very successful businesses. You can do that too if you want to. Thanks for hanging out with me today. And if you enjoyed this time together and you enjoyed this video, stay with me, because next up, we're going to talk about how to use content marketing to grow your business. And remember, your 2X is waiting for you too.